Hi folks, and welcome to Animated LED Lighting. Today I want to show you how we're going to replace the Try Me switch in the Home Depot Werewolf with a simple motion sensor. That way you don't have to even turn this thing on. You can use it whenever you want, wherever you want. Just leave him plugged in and he'll go off whenever somebody comes up. So this is going to be a real easy task. We'll show you how to do it. Alright, hopefully you can see this fairly well. First thing you have to do, you can see that I've already mounted this up there. I'm going to go through the steps again so I can show you what we need. But what you'll see is you need to take the head off, and you've got 4 or 5 screws around here, right around the neck, and then you can slide this out. I did end up needing to take off 2 more down the rib cage just to give it enough flexibility so I didn't break anything. I won't make you walk through all of that, but just basically take each one out and hang on to it because you're going to need it. And we'll just go through it one by one. And then I'll show you once I get it taken apart. Okay, now I've taken all the screws out of the neck and the rib cage, and he's still going off already. So I've done all of that, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pry this apart. Take a screwdriver in here. Shut up, you. Get the screwdriver in there and you can pry him apart. And you'll see that he's got a connector on a pivot point. So you need to open this up enough that you can slide that out. Wiggle it back and forth while you're pushing to the left or to the right, to the left. And then that'll come out. Once you get those apart, you can slide the whole head out, and there you have it. So we'll take this and work on this next. Okay, so now that we've got the head off, you've got about 6 screws in here, well 7 actually. You've got 2 in the head here, in the back, and you've got 2, 1 on either side, and then you've got 2 up underneath the jaw, which is kind of hard to see, but they're up underneath the jaw. And then you still have to take the battery one out. So let's take those out and we'll pop this head off and see how that goes. This doesn't take more than a couple of seconds, especially where I've been into it 5 times already. All the screws are the same size, so it doesn't really matter much. It's not like you need to keep track of which ones go where in this particular case. Having a nice magnetic screwdriver helps a little bit, so you can just pluck these screws right out. Lift up the head, the jar a little bit so you can go ahead and get this. And you're good. Doesn't take very much. One last one here. Okay, so once we do that, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. You got to get the one out from underneath the battery compartment, because that holds everything in too. They put the battery compartment in an odd spot under the jaw, so it's kind of hard to get at. Works, but it's just hard to get at. All right, so we pull this off. This comes off real easy, and this piece for the neck only goes back one way, so you don't even have to worry about that. And there you have it. You've got your motor, which operates the jaw. You've got your control board, and you've got your speaker with the on-off switch, which is in the off position. And you can't really see it that well, but down in here is the switch. Is the switch for the Try Me switch, and that comes in, and we'll bypass that. We'll show you how to do that. And the lights are still going off, so it's all still working. What we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this, and I'll show you how this goes together afterwards. But let's go over the schematic next, so I can show you what we have here. If we open this up, basically what we have. But what you have basically is you have your control chip. I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't need to. We don't even really need to know. I'll show you and explain why. It looks like we've got a regulator for the motor, and a couple of MOSFETs in here, which is no big deal. So we'll go ahead and take this and we'll take a look at the schematic. I'll draw up a schematic. I had to draw up a schematic because I can't find one online, and we'll show you how that works. Okay, so we'll try to go through this a little bit here. Basically, I had to draw up a schematic. I'll show you this on the computer, it's easier. But I had to draw up a schematic for it. We got a 4.5 volt battery because there's three batteries here underneath this. And that each one is a volt and a half, so you get 4.5 volts. That's coming in from this terminal and this terminal. So here's your red, which gives you 5 volts, which actually goes around the board halfway at least. It's 4.5 volts, and then you got your ground, which comes in over here, which is going back the other way. So what we really did is you have one wire here from that try-me switch, which is your yellow, and another yellow. And what we have is we have the yellow switch going right to the 4.5 volts. So we know that, and basically you have your first switch, which is your power switch to the whole circuit. And then your second switch, which is the try-me switch, bypasses the power switch. That's what it's doing, and that's what makes it functional in the store without actually turning on the batteries and all that. So basically you close that switch, and what you're really doing is you're applying 4.5 volts to this pin right here. Again, I said before that this part has no markings on it. I don't know exactly what it is, but we don't really need it. All we need to know is that when we apply 4.5 volts to that pin, this thing works. So what we did is we went ahead and we made a motion sensor, which is another circuit altogether. The motion sensor has 3 pins, basically. It has your power in switch, and this is because I chose a timed motion sensor. What I have is I have a voltage divider here with 2 resistors, which controls how long the motion sensor will actually stay in motion once it's activated. In other words, it will not stop and start and mess everything up. Once it turns on for a preset amount of time until that timer runs out, and then it shuts off, which is why I chose this particular model. But go ahead and basically set it up with an LDO, a low dropout regulator, so that we can run this separately. I can use this board because I designed this board, which is this one right here, really. I designed this board to have V in, so this can be, I think, up to 20 volts or something. So you could use a 9-volt battery with this motion sensor on the back. So you could use it for just about anything. You have a little teenage kid you think's getting into your alcohol cabinet, put one of these on there and put a buzzer on it, scare the crap out of them. But anyway, we can run this off the 4.5 volt that comes from the battery, or a 9-volt battery separately if you wanted to run it, and then the output comes off of here and goes directly to the other side of the try-me switch. So basically, when the motion sensor has an output pin which puts out 3.3 volts when it's active. I found that on the other side of the activation switch, you can do it from anywhere from, I think, 2.5 volts and above. It'll activate. So 3.3 will be enough to activate this. And basically what we'll use is, because these wires are already there, we're just going to go ahead and attach this right to the switch itself. We're going to clip the switch off, and I made connectors on here so I could just screw them in and tack it in. If I really wanted to make this more permanent, I wouldn't have put these on. I would just solder the wires into the holes. So that's what we're going to do next. So I've gone ahead and I've wired them up, and I've tightened up the wiring a little bit, and I put a couple of tie wraps on here to keep those kind of tight, keep them kind of close. And this just helps, just to keep it nice and neat. And then I can run the wire down the back. And we'll go ahead and run it behind the jaw so it doesn't actually get hooked on the jaw. And you're going to want to put this somewhere. I put it originally under his chin, but it's almost like he blocks it. So you want to kind of put this down maybe on the on the leg or something, somewhere down there. I'm going to move that next. And I actually had mounting holes on this. I may put a cover on it and protect it from the elements as well. And I got to put a switch on this too, just so that I can shut it off at some point. But that's what we're going to do. That's how it works. That's how easy it is. And now I'm going to put this back together and we'll show you how it sets up. Okay, so we're going to try to get in here and put this back on, even though it's activating. Basically just spread it apart, put it back on, slide it over. And there is a housing on the opposite side, so you just have to slide them together and point them down. And then just go ahead and put the screws back in, which are all over this neck assembly. Sometimes, and I don't know why, but sometimes when I first set him up or move him from his location, it takes a little bit for him to get readjusted, and then he starts triggering again. Not sure why. Sometimes maybe it's pointing at sunlight or something, I don't know. But it's not going off right at the moment, even though it's moving all over the place. But we did set it up. I had my granddaughter with me this weekend, and my 4-year-old granddaughter Emerald, and she kept trying to sneak up on it. It was funny. It wouldn't work. No matter how hard she tried, she wasn't going to sneak up on it. And she did try quite a bit. But she ended up nicknaming him Howler, simply because that's what he was always doing, I guess, but it was kind of funny. The main neck part is back assembled, the head is back assembled, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll put a mount on this so that we can mount them to something. I think the way I want to, if I go this way and come in from behind, I can slip in one of the tie wraps through one of the top holes. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. I'll probably slip in one from the other side as well. We'll try to get this thing centered in here. See if we can't get it aligned. And then it can be just hanging in his rib cage. We'll see what we can do. So we'll get one more in there and make that work. And that's how you do it, folks. It's just that simple. If you have any questions, shoot us an email at info@animatedledlighting.com. And if you'd like to try out one of these boards, I'm looking for 10 product testers. So go to my website, www.animatedledlighting.com, and put in for one of the product testers. There's a little tab on one of the on the website. Put in the information, tell me you're looking to try one of these, and I'll give 10 of them away just so I can find out how other people can handle them and whether or not they work right for everybody, so we can try to improve this product. All right? Thanks.